call the meeting to order at 2:05.
Do we know if the cameras are on now?
We don't, but I believe she said that we could go ahead. Oh,
Okay.
there's the red light. So I'll call the meeting to order at 2:05.
Perfect.
Just missing Pam today, but everyone else is present. So first up on the agenda is the vote to approve the minutes of September 29th. Do I have a motion to approve?
I move that we approve the minutes from September 29th.
And a second?
Yes, the second here.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, sounds like it's unanimous.
Yep.
Public comment? No public to comment? So old business. I just wanted to give you a quick review of the special town meeting warrant review. I just took a look at the podcast stats and the YouTube stats, and we had over 200 views, so that's great.
Oh,
of the two
wow.
combined, 52 of the podcast, 149 of the YouTube videos, so that's great.
Wonderful.
Sure, there was some overlap since there was different content, but
Yeah,
still pleased with that.
very.
Yeah, so that was good. Next up is the info packet for candidates, and that's really Pam's domain, so I think we'll just,
Yeah, skip it for now.
yeah, I think so. So updates to the Voter Information Committee webpage. If you have a chance, take a look. I did shift all of our past programming down in that center
Yep.
column. Removed the special town meeting flyer and some other things, and then I just checked to make sure that our link to the committee and board vacancies was linking to the most up-to-date copy of that, which fortunately it is. That most recent board and committee vacancy was posted October the 28th.
Yeah,
And the way that we have it linked, as long as the town is updating that specific page and not uploading a new page, we're in pretty good shape. So that is all set.
kind of rolls right into know your town, doesn't it?
It does kind of roll right into know your town. And I actually think that I'm gonna bring that up under other, if
Okay.
that's okay.
Yep.
Just so we can get through some of the other things first. If you take a look at the voter information webpage, and if you just get back to me if you see anything else, just shoot me a quick email and let me know if there's anything else I need to adjust, but I think it's in good shape.
Yeah.
All right. So new business, discussion regarding efforts to boost attendance at town meeting and local town election. In that vein, I received this invitation from the Cape Women's Coalition. You may be on their mailing list and
I
get this
am.
already, but they have an upcoming program on Thursday the 9th called Town Meeting for One and All, making town meeting more accessible and inclusive. I think this really falls under that umbrella of boosting attendance.
Yes.
Because we know that inaccessibility is definitely a barrier to participation. So we want to make sure that we're promoting a town meeting that's accessible and inclusive. So I have signed up for this. It's a free program. It's a Zoom program. So if you're available that afternoon from 12 to 1:30 and want to join me, that would be great.
Yeah, I might have actually already signed up for it because it sounds very familiar. But, and I know that the Cape Cod Young Professionals for a number of years had a sort of series of training sessions for young people to encourage them to attend town meeting, because it can be daunting and confusing, especially if you did not grow up here and you move here and say, what is this process?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if there's, obviously I think those sessions were put on hold during COVID times, and I don't know if they've brought them back in a virtual format, but that might be another way to kind of link in with them and say, how can we work together to really help educate our citizens and encourage them to participate. They probably have a lot of this already sort of done instead of reinventing the wheel.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you have a contact there?
I do. I can't remember the new president's name, but I have it somewhere.
Okay.
So I can reach out to them.
That would be fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, I like that.
Yeah. It'd be nice to have a little handout, that brochure that I kept trying to get off the ground. But I don't know. Takes maybe too much review.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that can be difficult.
Yeah.
That can slow things down a bit. What else do we think we might want to consider as we approach town meeting in May? I think educating ourselves and being aware of accessibility issues definitely important. Reaching out to the young professionals to see if maybe there is You know, we could certainly host a series of Zoom
Right.
events if it's something they wanted to partner with.
Mhm.
That would be great.
And I know over the years, there have been attempts at offering childcare.
Yes,
And I think, well, speaking at least for myself, when my children were younger, the problem with that, it's a great offer
Yeah.
to say we're gonna offer free childcare, you know, here in the gym or here in the activity room, whatever the case may be. The problem we ran into year after year is when my children were young enough to require childcare, they had to be in bed.
Yep.
They could not be sitting here in the activity room
Yeah.
from 7 to 10 p.m. Like,
Yeah.
they had to be in bed.
Mhm.
So I think it would be helpful to sort of brainstorm ways around that, whether it's something as simple as maybe developing a list of babysitters that would, you know, that are available to work, or, you know, I know that there's a lot of safety and security issues, and, you know, that opens
Yeah.
up a whole other set of problems, but thinking about a way around that, because then what would happen is one of my husband and I one of us would have to stay home.
yeah.
Yeah.
We could
And
never
you lose
both,
a vote.
right,
Yeah.
we could never both
Yeah.
go unless we could get a babysitter to come to our house, because bringing them
Here did not
or
work.
to the high school or wherever, it's just, you know, it's that catch-22. If they're young enough to need babysitting, they need to be in bed not
Right.
long after 7,
Yeah.
so they can't be sitting there until 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's obviously a big hindrance to getting younger families to participate. Personally, I loved the Saturday.
Mhm.
I thought
That was nice.
fantastic.
Mhm. No, I agree. So, an awareness campaign, even just to like
Right.
let people like reach out to your neighbors to see if
Right.
you can get a babysitter.
Plan
But-
ahead, or,
yeah.
you know, I don't
Yeah,
know.
but that's not always
Right.
feasible, and I know, you know, kids that have after school activities or events maybe have to be picked up, and so parents can't rely on a babysitter. It's not just a matter of someone being in the home with them. There's the running them
Right.
around and
Oh,
picking
yeah.
them up and
Exactly.
doing all
Yeah.
of that as well. And
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Soccer practice
So-
ends at 6:30 or 7,
Yep,
you've got to run
exactly.
them home and you get to, you know, there's
Exactly. Yeah.
just no way to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm really curious how many towns are moving to the Saturday model. I'm wondering how we get that data to
Right.
see, like, how many Cape Cod towns are moving to a Saturday town meeting. Some were doing that prior to COVID.
Yeah.
Right.
I think our charter indicates a particular day though, doesn't it?
I think that it
Yeah.
might.
Yeah, and I think the town administrator was able to change that
Right, because of an
COVID.
emergency,
Right.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that would be something that if we were going to change long-term would have to go through the
I think
charter
so.
bylaw. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Can you find out?
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
great, because then we know if we, like,
Right, it's not even an option, or it is,
Right.
or,
At
Yes.
least not now.
well, it's not an option for this year, but
Right.
it could be a long-term solution, and so then what data would they need?
Yeah,
Could
right.
we do a survey of families, or, you
Well,
know?
and, you know, it's just interesting to me, because I would imagine it would also appeal to the older electorate. You know, a lot of them don't like driving after dark,
Yeah.
you know.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
it's past my bedtime
Oh,
usually.
it's way past
At
my
the end.
bedtime.
So
Yeah.
I'd be curious to,
I have a
to
number
see
of
how
friends
much
who don't
appetite-
drive at night anymore,
Yeah.
and I still do, so
Yeah.
I chauffeur,
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
but I'd be curious to see,
Yeah.
you know, what the appetite would be for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And whether we think it would actually increase accessibility, attendance,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
I think it's something to pursue. I think think that Chris is right. I vaguely remember the town having to jump through some hoops to make that happen during COVID,
Yeah.
and things were relaxed for obvious reasons, right?
yeah,
So I feel like it would be a longer term project, but it's certainly something that I'm interested in pursuing if we think that it would benefit the town as a whole.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I can do some research into other towns, see if we
Yeah.
can find out how many have made that a permanent change
Yep.
as opposed to just temporary during COVID.
Okay.
and we could probably also, like, I'm part of Friends of the Harwich Council on Aging. That might be a day we offer our van pickup.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
pick up and drop off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right now, we're about to get the van back on the road, but
Yay.
at half capacity.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
It won't be forever, I hope.
No,
Yeah,
hopefully it
but,
won't be forever.
Yeah. but that
That's
might-
another great way though, for both, do they offer, in the past, have they offered rides on election day as well?
No, they haven't.
No,
No.
okay.
But, you know,
I think
Yeah.
that would be-
So that's
Can-
another good
take it up.
possibility, yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Plus election day, yeah.
And I'm curious, I think another area of accessibility that's sort of a tough nut to crack is language accessibility. Like, things don't seem to generally be translated into other languages, you know, how do we access those folks who might not have English as their first language?
Yep,
You know,
yep.
and again, I don't necessarily have any solutions, but I think it's something to throw in the mix,
Yeah.
to be thinking about. And I know you had mentioned, I think it was you, a meeting or two ago about potentially making better use of the broadcast system for different
Yep.
sorts of announcements like this.
Yep.
And I don't know, from a technical standpoint, if that broadcast system has the capability of sending things in translated formats.
Big yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes, as a matter of fact, it does, which is great that
Yeah.
that's built in. And I did send one out prior to special town meeting as a
Uh-huh.
reminder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a reminder. So that was good.
See,
Another,
that's something I didn't think of.
yeah,
And, you know, I
yeah,
lived 40 years where our ballot was in at least 4 languages.
yeah.
But I don't think of it so much here, because I'm
Yeah.
not in the schools, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well,
Yeah.
and when you just look at the demographics, you know,
Yeah.
it's
Who's
It's
a
on the
voter?
rise,
increasing,
yeah.
increasing.
Who's
Yeah.
a voter, and, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's definitely something to consider. I know in the past, we've had the cart reporter has always come, so that there's but I don't know, is there a potential when the cart reporter comes, could it be displaying in English and, you know, like, is that an option?
Right. And do we have enough information to know what that other
Languages,
language
right,
Yeah.
or language?
right.
You know what
I would
mean?
think the school might have some good data on.
Well, you don't want to hear the answer.
Okay, okay. All right.
There's like 15 different languages.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And unlike other communities where there is sort of one predominant.
Right, that's not the case.
I mean, there are a couple that obviously are
More
more
so.
weighted, but
Yeah.
but there's really
Wow, that's really
a
interesting.
wide range,
Yeah.
which in some ways makes it a little harder because
Yeah,
you can't
of
just say,
course.
all right, this flyer is going to go in English and Spanish, or
Right,
you know, English
right.
and Portuguese, or
Yeah,
because there's, you know,
Okay.
up to 15 in some of the buildings.
Yeah, and I don't know how that would work. I would imagine though, if the cart, I would imagine that you can't display all of that
Right.
on a screen effectively. That'd
Exactly.
be a lot, like information overload for
Right.
anyone trying to keep up with it, and the font would be
Yeah.
tiny, yeah.
well, and isn't one of the things we should think about is, are they voters?
Well, sure,
Right.
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and I'm guessing some of the folks who are coming into our school system have made a choice.
Right.
You know, they live in Dennis.
Right.
I'm making this up, but,
Mhm.
right,
you know,
right. So we don't really know
yeah.
Yeah. how that applies to our demographic
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
but something to consider.
Yeah,
And maybe something, if anyone's, you know, participating with the League of Women Voters or anything else, you know,
oh, yeah.
perhaps there are multilingual individuals who would be willing to volunteer to assist, you
Right.
know? If there is a voter who's in need of that service, to act as
Yeah.
Right.
and I don't know what the, like, legalities of that are, you know?
Yeah.
but-
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
yeah,
a touchy
Good
area,
point.
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Don't give you
No.
quite the whole story
No,
on the
exactly.
article.
Right.
Exactly,
Oh,
or have the knowledge because they're not from that town, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're
Right.
volunteering to do that,
Yeah,
you're not volunteering for your own town meeting because you're participating
Sure.
actively and can't do
Yeah.
both. And
right.
so they just may not even have the background and the full knowledge of what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that is complicated. All right, so
It is.
thanks for putting that on our radar.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
We'll take some time to process that.
Yeah.
And see what else we can come up with. All right, so then as we get closer to town meeting, I think we can come up with some, you know, some publicity and PR that we can be doing to help get the word out and, you know, working with other community organizations, like you mentioned, the Friends, to provide transportation and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So just be on the lookout for other opportunities to help with that.
Good.
All right, so up next is discussion regarding the local comprehensive plan. So it's been, I had notes on this topic to share with you guys back in our October meeting, which had to be canceled due to the weather, the
Right.
storm. So I'm gonna hope that I can translate that. So this was from the Board of Selectmen's meeting the week prior, and I'll have to get you the date. But
Yeah.
about 55 minutes in, they had a great conversation about the local comprehensive plan. So John Eidman came.
Yep.
And I'm not sure if you had an opportunity to look through the packet for that meeting.
I did.
Okay.
And I watched the meeting too.
Oh, good,
Yeah,
good,
I
good. So
did.
you've already seen it.
Yeah.
All right,
Yep.
so
But
this
I
is.
didn't watch the more recent one where he provided more criteria.
Yeah,
more-
oh, okay.
We
So
talked about it again this week.
yes,
did,
he
yeah.
did talk about it again this week. I have not had an opportunity to watch that one
I
either.
did.
I watched
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Oh, good.
But I thought he did a great job outlining. So this is information that was included in the selectmen's packet. It just talks about the role, the mission, and the charge.
Yep.
They talked a little bit about the timeline and, when to establish this group, who was gonna be appointing members. John had lots of suggestions at that first meeting. I'll have to go back and listen to this upcoming meeting. But it looked like, in general, he was thinking about 9 to 11 people. Split between some being pulled from existing boards and committees and some at large from the
Yeah,
community.
through the interview process.
Through the
I believe,
interview
yeah.
process. So, I think that's gonna create a lot of balance. I'm really happy with that plan. It seems like they're, on the right track. So I definitely see a role for us in promoting any public meetings that they have, making sure that people understand, the importance of
Yeah.
this plan that's being created and how it will impact things long term. So if we can, I think we do a good job of getting the word out there in various places
Yeah.
and using other connections, just making sure that it's getting into newsletters and it's getting out to the school community
Yeah.
and those sorts of things. Did anybody else, Joy, you watched the most recent one, any other takeaways?
No, I think they were just sort of refining, the candidate, sort of qualifications. There was some discussion, I know one of the selectmen said he wants to make it very clear that, the qualifications can be as simple as, I have lived here my entire life.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they made a final decision, but they kind of talked around the wording that requested a CV or resume. They didn't want that to be an obstacle to anybody who felt like, I don't have a big professional
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
expertise to bring. And, I think, and again, I don't think this was something they actually voted on, but I think their general consensus was it can be as simple as a letter of interest.
Mhm.
And your qualification can be something that is simply, I have lived here my whole life, or, I
Yeah.
was raised here, or I love this town, and it doesn't necessarily have to be expertise in,
Right.
engineering or,
Mhm.
Right. Right,
Yeah.
planning
right,
or,
any
yeah.
of those sorts of things.
Yeah.
So, and I think John just, referred to the materials he had already created, saying, just about every question you would have would be in that, and encourage people to look at that and really dig into it when they're considering
Good.
being part of it. And I
Great.
feel like they might have talked about a timeline, but I cannot remember.
We're gonna have to watch it, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to watch it as well, because I know the previous conversation, they talked briefly about it, but I think that the larger discussion was postponed, until this meeting, which I haven't had a chance to watch, so I'll take a look at it this week.
But it did
and
sound
see.
like they wanna move. They
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
wanna keep deliberating and, yeah. Did you get that sense?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and I don't want to misspeak, but
Yeah.
I definitely am left with the feeling that they wanted to kind
Move
of start
forward.
collecting
Yeah.
these
Good.
resumes and letters of interest as soon as possible and really get things going.
Moving.
But I
Good.
don't want to give any specific dates
Okay,
in case I'm incorrect.
Nice.
all right, great, well, I'll watch that meeting and I'll make some notes so that we can add that, when we discuss it again at the next meeting, because we'll just keep that under old business for now.
Yeah.
I think that's
Nice.
gonna be an ongoing topic, so I'll keep that on the agenda.
Good.
But this next one, I will
Ooh.
quickly take off of this one. only appearance on the agenda. We got an email that we are scheduled to present. We being me,
Yeah.
but anyone who wants to come is welcome to come. We are scheduled on the agenda for this coming Monday, 11/22,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
To present our annual report to the Board of Selectmen. So committees have been doing that. We're on the slate for this coming Monday. So what I would like to do is send you all a draft of that by the end of the week. I know that's a short timeline, but if you could take a look at it, give me some feedback. I mean, it'll
Yeah.
be a basic. It's, we have to check off some boxes, give a brief highlight from last year. So we'll talk about all of the programming that we did, the Know Your Town series, and our warrant reviews and all the things that we've done. A list of the committee members and our organization. All members are sworn in, correct?
Right, yep.
Everyone is up to date on their state ethics?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. I have to answer that question. They do ask, does your committee charge need reviewing or updating? And I don't really feel that it does. I mean, we
Yeah.
haven't had any changes that would warrant that I can think of. Do we need any assistance or support in finding members? I mean, we do have a vacancy, so I will certainly highlight that.
Okay, I was actually gonna ask that under
Yeah.
other, but so there's technically one vacancy?
One vacancy.
But
Okay.
both, I think Pam and I
Are up.
terminated
Yeah, you're,
in June, right,
Okay.
or May,
Yes.
I don't know
Okay.
when it is, yeah.
okay.
So,
So-
and I have to say, 9 years, I'm thinking maybe not to continue.
Okay.
So we'll,
Do you have, be thinking of someone who might want to.
yes, exactly, right,
All right.
yeah.
All right, good to, thank
Yeah.
you for that information. That's helpful. Not good to know because I would
Yeah,
rather
yeah.
that not be the case.
I watched that part of the Board of Selectmen
Yep.
Monday, and that was very quick, each of the three,
Yeah.
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 And they've always said, we don't want you to repeat the report,
Right.
just, blah, blah, blah. And,
Yeah.
but I never saw it quite so fast.
Well, they seem very organized, trying to get through them all.
Yes,
Because I'm also on Harwich Youth Services, and they had originally
Oh.
scheduled us for
Yeah.
that same night, but
Yeah.
I'm the chair of that, and I'm out of town, and a couple of other people couldn't be
Yeah.
there, so they're pushing us to January, I
oh,
think.
good,
Oh, good.
But it seems like they're trying to really
Yeah.
yeah,
get
Yeah.
through them all.
Yes, absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
So, I will not be there. but
Okay.
I will be there in spirit.
That's fine. That's
I'll
fine.
be there.
Excellent. I will
Yep.
see you there. All right, then I think that, like I said, I'll send you my draft, and actually I don't even know what the deadline is to get it in the packet, and I have to think about that.
I saw it on the letter.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I didn't get the letter. I got the
Yeah.
forward from you.
Right.
And so I'm actually looking at the one that I got for the Board of Trustees
Yeah.
and reading off of that. So it has my deadlines for the other board, but not for us.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure.
today.
Actually, well, I probably still have the copy
Oh,
that,
that's right,
Ellen
because
sent
you
me
would have
for,
been, yep. So
um,
I didn't get that email from Ellen, and I need to talk to her about that. So thank you.
Yeah, but
for
I did.
you
she's-
forwarded it to me, but the attachment was not there, so
Oh,
I
that's
couldn't.
clever. Because she said she had sent it to me because I was the clerk.
Yeah, I know,
And
and
that
I.
she had you.
Yeah, but I didn't get it, and
Okay.
so I need to
Oh.
make sure that she has an accurate email
Yeah.
address. It may just be a typo in my email.
that happened to somebody on our committee
Yeah.
too. Sorry, I'm trying to pull this up. And yes, it looks like it only went to the chair and the clerk for each committee.
Okay.
All right, let's-
So I think the deadline is Friday or
I think it's.
Thursday.
I think
Can
it's.
I have me do this without my glasses?
I know.
Oh.
I can hold the phone over here. If that helps. That's where I am.
Gone.
1 week prior to the
Okay.
meeting date.
Okay, so I will email Ellen. We may have to postpone because.
Yeah, these written summaries will need to be provided to the town administration office 1 week before your meeting date.
Okay. So I may see if I can go on the 29th or another day. I will email Ellen tomorrow.
Okay, good.
Do you want me to send you this?
If you don't mind forwarding that to me, I would appreciate it. Thank you. All right.
Good.
So then next up, so once we tackle that and we have that behind us, I am ready to move on to the next series of Know Your Town events. So I think I'm going to start with the following boards and committees:
Okay.
appeals,
Ooh,
assessors,
yeah,
health, planning, and water and wastewater. I want to start with regulatory boards. I just think that seems like a good place to start.
Yeah.
We know that, some of these have some planning, has the local comprehensive plan in the works, and water and wastewater have a lot of
yeah.
stuff in the works.
Did you mention planning?
I did say planning,
Oh,
yep,
God, I
sorry.
missed it, sorry.
Appeals, assessors, health, planning, water, and
Got
wastewater.
it.
So I confirmed with Joe that would be a good place to start. I just wanted to make sure that they didn't, that they felt like that would be a good starting point, and then we'll go from there. So what I need you to be thinking about between now and our December the 15th meeting, the idea is to help the community understand what these boards and committees do, right?
Yep.
What their purpose is. And also, the qualifications or background that might be needed in order to serve on those boards and committees. And then, whether or not they are appointed or elected, that sort of thing.
Yep.
We want to provide that information. So I'm trying to develop a list of questions. My timeline is to reach out to everyone and set them up for late January and early February recordings.
Uh-huh.
So my goal is to put this high on the agenda for next time.
Yep.
And really dive in and develop those questions so that I can get the information out to these groups and get started with recording.
Yep.
And then at the same time, probably developing the list for phase 2.
The next
Yeah.
group, yeah.
So I could just kind of cycle through them.
Yeah.
And obviously not going to get through every board and committee prior to town meeting because we'll, in April and
Yeah.
and May we'll be busy with other things. So
Right.
this is a January, February, March kind of project.
Do you want me to take a look at what vacancies there'll be in, for the local town election?
Yes, that would be fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how else can we support you in this project?
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of work.
So honestly, I think that developing the questions will be the main way. From there, I have a nice little system set up from the previous round of podcasts. So I have a good system in place to just pick my schedule, my recording times, send them out, and it's fill in the blank from there. It is.
That's easier.
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay.
It's set up.
So
yeah.
that part is covered. Thank you. Yep.
Good.
All right. So our next committee meeting will be December the 15th, and then we'll be following up January 26th. So we did adjust that December meeting so it doesn't fall in the same week as the holiday.
I think that's on my calendar. And you're back by then, Joy? Yep.
Yes, I'm just gone for a week.
Well, enjoy your trip.
Thank you.
January
All right.
26th.
So does anybody have anything else that we need to cover under other?
I don't think, mine was just, could I get a jump start on the vacancies?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had one question about our mission.
Okay.
So as part of voter information and encouraging participation, do we have any role in voter registration, or does that sort of cross?
I think that falls under the town clerk's office.
Right.
Yeah. We would certainly be willing to support Anita in any way that she might like us to.
Right.
I think that we could certainly do some advertising about, last day to register and that sort
Right,
of
because I
thing.
know
Yeah.
that ties in, and we did that in the
Yeah.
fall, so
Yeah.
I was just sort of curious where
Yeah.
the two
Yeah,
lines.
I think our charge says, encourage it, something like that.
Right.
And I forget the words exactly.
So we can provide information and that sort of thing, but we
Yeah.
would never hold a voter registration drive or something sort of that.
Right. Not necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah. We haven't in the past.
Right, maybe
Yeah.
at some point
Yeah.
we would, yeah,
Just trying to
yeah,
compartmentalize in my head.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
right.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else that we can think
Good.
of? All right. Well then, a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Chris seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
And that's 2:35.
Thank you.